My name is Matt Ellison, and I'm a producer at TT Games on LEGO Marvel Superheroes.
The time has come for Earth to suffer. Yet you mortals think your heroes can protect you. How foolish you are.
Ooh, very theatrical with the lightning and everything.
So basically, this is an original story in LEGO Marvel Superheroes. It's something that we, as well as Marvel, have worked on. And by creating an original story, it allows us to basically go to all of these amazing locations within the Marvel universe and tell a unique story. In that story, basically Doctor Doom and Loki are sort of the main two bad guys. And they both have their own agendas sort of in the story, and it revolves around getting sort of the power of the cosmic bricks, and they're trying to secure these bricks for their own needs. The good guys is not just the Avengers in this. We have sort of other characters, the X-Men and sort of Spider-Man and all these other characters come in to try and stop the bad guys from basically trying to take over the world. And then at the end of the sort of story, there's also this threat of Galactus as well. So when Galactus turns up, everyone needs to try and sort of solve that problem as well. So that's the sort of a very broad overview of what the story is in LEGO Marvel Superheroes.
Ooh, very theatrical with the lightning and everything.
We have over 150 characters in the game, and these cover sort of the key iconic characters that people expect and people that see in the films and stuff like that. So we have Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Thor, Wolverine, these characters that people would expect. We also have characters that LEGO are making the minifigure toys of. All of those characters, we include them in the game as well. And then we sort of speak to Marvel and sort of ask them which characters fans would most like to see in the game and sort of get their input on it. So that's where some of the more sort of diverse characters come in, and sort of they sort of said fan favourites like Howard the Duck and sort of characters like that. So these sort of slightly more obscure ones were characters that Marvel said would be great to include. So we've included as many of them as we possibly can. And we always try to include as many different types of characters. So now we have these big LEGO minifigures. So like the Hulk, we've got different characters that are sort of these huge characters, so Abomination and Kingpin and sort of these bigger characters. So they're very new for this game. And then we, as I said earlier, we have like the X-Men. We've got the Fantastic Four, so characters like Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic, all of these characters are also there as well. So there's a very diverse range of characters in the game, and some of them are going to become more famous sort of next year when the Guardians of the Galaxy film comes out. We've got Rocket Raccoon in the game as well. So even these characters who people might not necessarily be aware of yet, they're going to become more aware of them as more films come out as well.
Theatrical with the lightning and everything.
So we have 15 story levels in the game, and in between those story levels you'll sort of go back into the New York hub, and in there's sort of bits of gameplay, puzzles to solve, to sort of in one part get to the next story level, but then there's extra sort of bonus content in there as well. So we have some isolated stories in there that people can play, and there's other puzzles and gold bricks and loads of stuff to collect in this New York hub. The reason we chose New York was basically it's a good fit with Marvel. Marvel has a lot of history with New York. As you say, the Avengers sort of is familiar with that city. But we are able to sort of create a LEGO Marvel New York hybrid sort of environment. So we have some real world New York locations, but then we also have the Marvel ones, and we also have like Marvel HQs in there as well. So there's lots of different stuff for people to explore in our interpretation of New York. And we really think that it's going to be a fantastic environment for people to play in.
Very theatrical with the lightning and everything.
So yeah, Stan Lee does feature in this game. We have him, well, as a start, he's a playable character, and we sort of put it to him and his team of what abilities they would like him to have, and they basically said, do what you want. So we gave him all of the abilities that we possibly could, so he can transform into sort of a Stan Hulk. He's got Mr. Fantastic sort of stretching abilities. He can web swing. So he's a very powerful character in the game. He's got a lot of abilities that allow him to interact with lots of stuff in the game. We also have Stan Lee in peril. So you'll be able to find Stan Lee in these different sort of situations in the game where he's got himself sort of stuck or he's in trouble, and the player's job is to sort of rescue him from that. And Stan Lee sort of recorded lines of dialogue to go with that sort of interaction. So we have Stan Lee voicing himself in the game, which was just fantastic for us as sort of comic fans and Marvel fans. It's just a fantastic opportunity to be able to include him in the game.
Ooh, very theatrical with the lightning and everything.
So yeah, LEGO Marvel Superheroes is appropriate for kids. It's a family-friendly game, and we make sure that the content is safe for kids. But we also know that Marvel appeals to a wide range of ages. There is an older audience with Marvel as well. So we want to cater for that as much as we can. So we have references to things that the older audience might get. Deadpool is a good example of where he's a very popular character with Marvel fans, and he's not particularly kid-friendly most of the time, but in our game we have him voicing comic book panel intros to some bonus content. That content is very funny. He's breaking the fourth wall, doing all the things that you'd expect Deadpool to do, but it's done in a way that is appropriate for kids as well. So we make sure that we don't lose any of that humour, but we do it in a way that's sort of safe for kids.
Ooh, very theatrical with the lightning and everything.
Co-op is a big part of LEGO Marvel Superheroes. At any point when you're playing the game, a second person can pick up a controller, press start, and they'll drop right into the game, and then you can drop out just as quickly. So at any point you can drop in, drop out, and that core experience is there for people at any time. And that's great for us, because where we are sort of a family game, you can have sort of parent and child, brother and sister, whoever, sort of even friends, can just play the game together, and at any point just have this experience of playing through together, which is key for the LEGO games and something that we found is sort of one of its sort of core strengths. And the whole game is designed with that in mind. There's always stuff for both characters to be doing on screen.
Ooh, very theatrical with the lightning and everything.
So the game is coming out on Xbox 360, PS3, Wii U, Xbox One and PS4 and PC. We're also doing a handheld version on the 3DS and Vita, and that experience is basically covering the same story, but we break the levels down into smaller sections, so it's more pick up and play on the go, sort of quicker action-paced gameplay. In the console version, the levels are sort of longer, and there's sort of the hub experience as well, which isn't in the handheld version. So that's sort of the key difference between the two. And yeah, the handheld is just designed so that it's more immediately accessible for people.
Ooh, very theatrical with the lightning and everything.
So LEGO Marvel Superheroes is coming to the Xbox 360, the PS3, Wii U, PC, Xbox One, PS4, 3DS and Vita, and it's coming out on November the 15th in Europe.
Do you remember this little plaything?